Daily dose of dopamine. My name's Robert. This is my pal Susan, aka Gracie, aka Robin, aka how are ya?
Yeah, I'm warm. I've been peeling layers. This is as
Yeah,
far as I go.
I saw you just a moment ago, and here you are in a brand new
Yeah,
deal.
right. Yes.
So we are in a new deal. We get this thing. Again, I think explaining the process sometimes is helpful to people. Tuesdays, as of right now, have back-to-back opportunities. We have the Jam for Joy from 10 to 11, and then we have a curriculum class from 11:30 to 12:30. So that's 2 hours of pretty great, powerful stuff. How are you feeling after 2 hours of that?
Oh, Tuesday is my favorite day. I anticipate it with great eagerness. I actually, to answer the specific question you just asked, a little brain dead.
Yeah.
As in the play is so engaging and I'm fully invested in it. There's just I don't need a nap or anything. I'm just but we just ended like 2 minutes ago. So yes, yeah. How about you?
I'm
We
buzzing. Yeah,
yeah.
I have to really work hard to transition out of this because for me, so this is the flow part of this. And we haven't talked a lot about that, but Mihai Csikszentmihalyi is we talk about Dr. Stuart Brown and his work with play. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi is the researcher known for developing the term flow and scientifically studying it. It is what I feel when I'm improvising, and at least as much when I'm teaching as playing. I guess if I'm playing with a safe group of people, sometimes improvising with people I feel less than. I'm still engaged, but there's other feelings of dread because I feel you. I can, and I talked to my sister about this because she gets the same with piano. I can become a bit of an improv snob playing with people if they start playing selfishly or they might be very funny people, and this is where it gets screwed up in performance, and yet it's not playing, you know it's not playing the strength in numbers game. It's playing the hey look at me game, and I just want to go get on the freaking stand-up stage and do a act and get the applause all to yourself. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to connect.
Yeah.
It'll still be funny, I promise, but you got to let me play too.
So I'm curious about the word snob. That
Yeah.
that has judgment attached to
Oh
it
yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
me. And I wonder if that's really encompassing all the things that really matter to you in this circumstance.
Good question. It's probably a little bit of a cop out for me to call it a snob because it allows me to simply say, oh, I'm just being picky. When maybe my truth is, no, I really do believe there's a right way to play. Um, Go ahead.
Well, there's no right and wrong. It's
No,
different, right? So Yax is different. We play different. That's
absolutely. And let me ask you this. If someone came into our room, and actually we've had a few people do that, and started being, hey, look at me, and ruining scenes with their joking mentality, how would you feel about there is no right and wrong?
I think I would show don't tell. I think I would like to give them some opportunity to discover what the Yax method is, and that just happened. The um, execution on both teams of Dr. Know It All was quite different than I've ever seen it before in multiple ways. And you, as our mentor, teacher, leader, Sherpa, um, there was nothing judgmental. There was nothing snobbish. There was nothing. You just helped us enjoy what we were doing and give ourselves, applause to make sure we celebrated ourselves when what we did was classically the opposite of the instructions that you had given us. And there was no criticism, there was no judgment. So
So
that's
that, yeah,
within the Yaks world. This
right.
stuff is tricky. It takes a little while to figure out how to be as accepting.
That's where I draw the line incredibly importantly to me, and it helps me be the type of teacher you just described between play and performance. And that's what I was just speaking toward. In a performance world, because there are outside elements that come into play, like a paying audience, like expectations, like practical bills that need to be paid, whether they're to the performer or to the location or to the technicians that go in. And a certain level of show has to be accomplished in order to be successful, get good reviews, get people to keep coming out. This is when necessarily, in my opinion, the form does take on a difficult coat of there is a right way to play, in my opinion.
That is a scenario with a certain set of expectations.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So the traditional form,
Not even traditional performance. I want to be very
the
clear about
performance, okay, the
that. That's
performance
performance.
form.
That's not, yeah, 'cause, I mean, the deepest tradition, as we know, is Viola Spolin and her with immigrant children learning to assimilate, and that has nothing to do with performance.
Yes, right,
And
yes.
that's what I think. Yak's a closer version to that. I want people to feel, you, in some sense, people with Parkinson's are immigrants in their own body, right? That on a daily basis can feel like a foreign country. And it is language and games that help you feel once again comfortable and integrated within yourself.
And, and have the ability to accept and be fluid and learn maybe that there's a difference between, some people will say, I have Parkinson's. Some people will say, I'm living with Parkinson's. Some people will say, Parkinson's has me. Those are very different ways of managing, thinking about the reality of your life as a person with Parkinson's. And it does change from day to day. The modeling of I'm living with Parkinson's probably has a more of a lifted, less self-judgmental and more self-grace than any other expression that I've run across.
And it's the acceptance, I think, of all those opportunities, of seeing it all those different ways, maybe in a matter of a couple of minutes. It might be that tight. I have Parkinson's, Parkinson's has me, I'm living with Parkinson's, being okay with the wild swings based on whatever's going on.
Whatever the damn dopamine is doing or not doing, or how it's penetrating, what the message is.
And how you feel about it, right? There's the physical manifestation, and then there's how you feel. This is why edifying, the further we go with this, the more I feel this is every bit as important as medication, is understanding your emotional responses to what you're getting. That's where your power is.
When you say to what you're getting, what do you mean?
To whatever your body's doing, to what you're not in
Okay.
control of, right? Because
Yes.
Parkinson's takes some control away from you. And then the medication also takes some control away from you. It's doing what it's, so there's a war going on that is like foreign to most people who don't have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you, again, the immigrant in your own body, oh geez, I'm being invaded and I've got an army that says it's protecting me, and I just got to take it all.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I feel about that? Can determine, this sucks right now. That's okay. Right now, Parkinson's has me. That's not wrong. That's how it feels right now, based on this particular chemical electrical thing. I would like to feel that I am a person with Parkinson's, or I'm living with, whatever my highest is. And maybe sometimes I do operate that way. But if I'm not, it's still okay. Even doing this puts some status and judgment on it. But whatever it is, here, there,
Yeah.
anywhere on the map, you know what I mean? It's okay
And
to feel.
I think the way you migrate through those different levels, and you're right. I love this conversation that there is no judgment attached to any of those, if you will, levels or degree of symptomatology. For me, and I'm just 6.5 years into this, so I haven't had as much practice as some of my friends at living with Parkinson's. The thing that often works the best is the memory that I have felt this way before, and I really was struggling and suffering. And then there were so many times since then when I didn't feel this way, whatever the way is. That helps. because it's in the moment, you're just, you just feel like you're, you know, captive to something you have
Right.
no choice about.
That's right. Despite the best efforts, an exercise class, a pill, a surgery, whatever,
Yeah.
all of these things. If we can be one more, Yaks is not a solution, a savior, or anything else, but if it can be one more opportunity that is not being explored very broadly right now, to take all of that information and say, here's a safe harbor to be all of you, and maybe reset, or maybe just experience it, what you're experiencing, in a safe place, all of it. Put it forward. We have people come in and just say they're having a terrible day. We
Hmm.
have people come in and we celebrate that. Thank you
Hmm.
for telling us, not that you're having a terrible day, but for being vulnerable.
Because everybody else in the room has had that day too. And I've recently, you've had students compliment other students on their voice today is just,
Yep.
sounds great. There's no judgment that their voice was struggling in the past. They're affirming the present. And someone said that this experience has become a set of tools that she carries with her. And I get that too.
Well, and you did the thing that I had on my run this morning, on my laundry list of runs. I was going to say, you either need to put that into a blog, or we need to do a video session about you telling that practical story. I think it's one of our recruitment tools. So I'm going to cut that piece of today's class
Okay.
into something to share, and I'll make sure to clear it with everybody in the class that I can share that, because you told it beautifully and perfectly.
Okay.
And it's about the practical applicability of what we do and how meaningful it is. And so, again, if we can be that safe harbor, then I couldn't be more thrilled. And then within that, it's reminding myself, when I'm done, I need to be done, which I need to be here in a minute, and move on to the other areas to take care of, writing a systematic review.
And may I ask you to reconsider the use of the word snob?
A
Because I don't,
snob?
yeah, I don't think it's accurate. I don't think it's fair
Well,
to.
you reframe it for me. Try something on for me. Help me out. What would be more fair sounding to you than snob, about how I feel about that way of playing in a performative element?
I've discovered over time there are different ways to do improv. One of them is performative, and one of them is community building, or whatever small phrase you want to use to summarize this vast world. And it's just simply that we play different, and
Play
just
different. You did it. Play different. You called it back. Perfect. That's it.
okay.
Yes. I gotta frame that again. You did it. Play different. That's it. That's your daily dose.